during this pandemic?
Alhamdulillah, personally, I'm good. Tomorrow we will start the lockdown once again because the number of cases, has increased, and this is not good, particularly for the hospitals, the frontliners. Okay, they are very much exhausted. So it will be 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks. It's really very important. Yes,
it is.
To stop the spread of this pandemic.
Yeah, you are right. You are right. What about in Pakistan, Prof?
Yeah, in Pakistan, the Punjab province is better than others. KPK is better. But in Sindh province, where Karachi is here, all the coastal areas, so there is some problem. There's a rising trend. But overall in Pakistan, it is under control from today. So the government has opened all the educational institutions with 50% attendance. And hopefully the things are going better now in Pakistan.
Yeah, inshallah. Yeah.
Inshallah,
okay.
inshallah. Yeah. And before Eid, I got infected.
Me before Ramadan, the whole family except my second son, all of us were tested positive. Positive.
Yes. We all.
Although we are staying at home, but the kids went to university, so they pick up, I think, from the university.
Yeah. The same was here. So we all family got the positive COVID. And gradually after 23 weeks, we were recovered, alhamdulillah, and now we all are fine, alhamdulillah.
So have you received your vaccination?
Yes, I got one. I got the first dose of vaccination.
Dose?
Yeah.
And, we are still waiting.
Yeah, but when I got the first vaccination, and later on when I got it, then I saw on the social media that AstraZeneca is very dangerous. It's going for clotting and everything. Then we were again.
Yeah, I mean, all those information in the social media is very, very fast, and then, very convincing. I understand that.
They said that it will go for the clotting and everything. We again stuck in the same situation.
Yeah. Well, at least prevention is, better than cure.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, it's true. So Almighty Allah always keep you and your family in safe and.
The same goes to you. Yeah, the same goes to you. Yeah, inshallah.
Thank you very much. And university will open after 50 weeks. Sir, I'm fine. Dr. Saab, kaise hai sir? Yes. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. I'm fine. So
sir,
everything
nice
is good.
You here.
Everything is good.
Sir, alhamdulillah, everything is fine. Aap sunaye. Sir, how is your pandemic at your side?
मैं बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ, डॉक्टर साहब.
अच्छा, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह.
आपने फिर ज्वाइन नहीं किया. आपने हमें ज्वाइन नहीं किया फिर.
That's मैंने बस इसलिए नहीं किया कि यहाँ पर डीन था. जी डीन था यहाँ पर, तो फिर मैंने सोचा कि
हाँ, ये बात तो सही है.
लाइन में लग जाऊंगा फिर दोबारा से. एक्चुअली मैंने जब अप्लाई किया था तो देन आई वाज नॉट डीन, तो मैंने कहा कि यहाँ तो डीन बनाते नहीं है, चले वहां चले जाते हैं. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई अप्लाइड एंड फिर बाद में बस वो इसलिए फिर मैं नहीं आ सका. तो डॉक्टर साहब, आपके पास तो माशाल्लाह काफी सारे प्रोफेसर होंगे वहां पर, तो मैंने सुना स्कूल ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स भी बन गया.
स्कूल ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स बन गया, लेकिन प्रोफेसर सिर्फ एक ही है अभी हमारे पास.
अच्छा.
यानी कुछ लोग पिछले सिलेक्शन बोर्ड में एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर हो गए थे.
सही.
2 लोग एसोसिएट हो गए थे.
ओके.
स्कूल बन गया, स्कूल के अंदर कुछ डिपार्टमेंट बन गए. لیکن پروفیسر ابھی ایک ہی ہیں.
ڈاکٹر صاحب پروفیسر تو اسکول میں تو پروفیسر ہونے چاہیے, ایٹ لیسٹ 3-4 پروفیسر ہونے چاہیے.
جی ہو جائیں گے, فیوچر میں ہو جائیں گے
انشاءاللہ انشاءاللہ. تو ڈاکٹر صاحب آپ کی انٹرنشپ کیسی چل رہی, ٹھیک ٹھاک؟
جی بالکل ٹھیک ٹھاک, بالکل ٹھیک.
ماشاءاللہ ماشاءاللہ. تو سر کیسی پینڈیمک کی کیا سچویشن لاہور میں؟
پینڈیمک لاہور میں زیادہ ہے باقی شہروں سے.
اچھا اچھا اچھا.
ابھی آج جیسے بہت سارے شہروں میں کچھ انہوں نے لاک ڈاؤن کم کیا ہے, تو لاہور میں ابھی بھی ہے.
اوکے.
لاہور کا جو پرسنٹیج ہے وہ کچھ زیادہ ہے باقی شہروں سے.
اچھا اچھا. ہمارا کچھ بہتر ہو گیا, یہاں ملتان میں کافی ٹاپ پر تھا, لاہور کے ساتھ ہی تھا, لیکن تھوڑا سا کنٹرول ہوا ہے. لیکن ہماری
لاہور میں
یونیورسٹی
بھی
میں
پچھلے کچھ دنوں سے کچھ کم ہوا تھا, لیکن پچھلے 2 دنوں سے پھر جو ہے نا وہ بڑھ گیا ہے کچھ پرسنٹیج.
اچھا اچھا. ہماری تو یونیورسٹی میں بہت سارے ٹیچرز کو ہو چکا ہے, آلموسٹ کوئی 10% 15% کے اراؤنڈ اباؤٹ ٹیچرز کو ہو چکا ہے.
ہمارے بھی ایسے ہی ہے, ہمارے بھی اتنے پرسنٹ کے لوگوں کو تو ہو چکا ہوگا.
جی بالکل ایسے ہی ہے, بالکل ایسے ہی, کیونکہ اس کا تو پتہ نہیں چلتا کب ہونا ہے کیا ہونا ہے, کچھ پتہ نہیں چلتا.
جی ایسے ہی.
ہاں جی. اور ممتاز صاحب ٹھیک ہیں؟
ممتاز صاحب بالکل ٹھیک ہے, ہماری ایسوسی ایشن کے وہ پریزیڈنٹ ہیں آج کل.
جی
ان کا تیسرا
بالکل
ٹینیور ہے.
ہاں جی ماشاءاللہ.
ان کا
ان
تیسرا
رو.
جی ایسے ہی ان رو.
تو ڈاکٹر صاحب کو نیا ایڈ بھی آ رہا ہے آپ کا, یا ابھی یا کوئی پروسیس میں ہے, یا کیا ہے آج کل؟
نیا ایڈ آیا تھا کچھ عرصہ پہلے. ہمارا ایڈ آیا ہے مارچ میں لاسٹ ڈیٹ تھی. تو
اب
آیا تھا
پروسیسنگ
کوئی جنوری کے اینڈ میں ایڈ آئی. مارچ کا لاسٹ ویک جو تھا اس کی لاسٹ ڈیٹ تھی.
اچھا.
اس میں مجھے یاد ہے کہ پروفیسر کی بھی تھی اکنامکس کی,
پروفیسر کی
ایسوسیٹ
سیٹ تھی
پروفیسر کی بھی
اکنامکس کی,
ہے.
ہاں جی تھی.
جی ایسے ہی ایسوسیٹ کی بھی تھی اور پھر اسسٹنٹ پروفیسر کی بھی تھی.
جی بالکل تھی. ہاں جی.
اس طرح سے ہے. مارچ میں جو ہے نا وہ اینڈ ہوئی ہے, تو اس کی ایلیجیبلٹی وغیرہ اور اگلا جو پروسیس ہے وہ شروع ہے.
اچھا وہ شروع ہوا ہے, ہوپفلی میرا خیال جلدی ہو جائے گا انشاءاللہ.
اگلے کچھ مہینوں میں اس کی فارن ایویلویشن بھی ہو جائے گی.
بالکل
سلیکشن بورڈ کے قابل.
ہاں جی. تو ڈاکٹر صاحب آپ کے یہاں میرا خیال going to start.
Yes, sir. Our worthy Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Mansur have joined us. So we are going to start now. On behalf of Department of Sociology, Bahauddin Zikra University Multan, the online research proposal. I am Dr. Kamran Ishfaq, currently working as Associate Professor and Chairman at the Department of Sociology, Bahauddin Zikra University Multan. I'm very thankful to Professor Dr. Mansoor Akbar Kundi, Vice Chancellor, Bahauddin Zikra University Multan, for giving us opportunity to organize these academic activities during COVID-19. So, dear participants, today the topic of online research workshop is writing a research proposal or thesis. And today we are very lucky. Today, renowned guest speakers, social scientists, Professor Dr. Noora Zura Mohamdia from the Department of Sociology and Anthropology, International Islamic University, Malaysia, join us. And secondly, Professor Dr. Khalid Mahmood, Professor of Department of Information Management, Dean Faculty of Economics and Management, University of Punjab, Lahore, join us. And thirdly, our Dean, Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, Professor Dr. Imran Sheikh Chaudhry, and our respected Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Mansoor Akbar Kundi Sahab, join us. And for the welcome note, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Mansoor Akbar Kundi, Vice Chancellor, Bahauddin Zikra University, Multan.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Again, as a conventional words, but coming from my heart, I feel that I am honored, privileged, and blessed to present my welcome address on the occasion when a galaxy of scholars here, as you mentioned, Professor Dr. Khalid Mahmood and Professor Dr. Associate Professor Dr. Nurazura Muhammadi and our Dean Imran Saab, Kamran, you, and all those listening. First of all, I welcome you with the one sentence which I always use, that never be sad, sick, and slacker. And number 3, that this online research workshop on writing a research proposal thesis skills really very important. I remember I myself am English writer, and even I wrote professionally in newspapers and magazine, interrogative, entertaining, mostly interrogative and historical, political. Like one of my articles you read, I wish I could get published in London, America, but I got published in a Y category, but I worked 3 years on that. Google carries. When I was a scholar on Pakistan chair in Istanbul, without touching religion for a slight moment, I wrote my article. You can read Political Lessons of Karbala. And many scholars told me that you could get published in America, London. Why you submitted, with apologies, such a journal? But anyhow, in Washington Post, now not anymore, there were written 1 or 2 stanzas. They were, of all those great arts in which wise excel, nature's chief masterpiece is writing well. So writing well is a bigger qualification, I tell you. And I learned from one of my teachers, not very qualified, but he was inspiring. He told me, go and buy, then 30 rupees, big amount, one dictionary by Hornby, an Oxford Advanced Learner's Dictionary. And I always recommend anybody, my sons, my students, my friends, that you must have this dictionary on your table. And every sentence used every word, verb, noun, pronoun used in sentences. And that, he once told me that advice. Number 2, he told me writing is a big weapon in your hand. And the third was, he told me, learn how to type with 4 fingers. A hungry fox jumps over a whatever. I can type. Believe me, I can look there, talk, and I can type very accurately. And that typing skills also make you a writer. Anyhow, writing a research proposal, honestly, highly required. For a researcher, it's like for a Muslim, before he learns how to pray Surah Al-Fatiha, essential. This is essential, very essential. So I will try to watch how people present it. And writing, big fascination. once you fell in love with writing, believe me, I believe you, doesn't matter if you are alone, you are in stress or distress, you can manage. So I always say that fall in love with writing skills, writing proposals, all have hand in glove relation. So with these words, I welcome all of you, and I give credit to Dr. Kamran, who is energetic, initiative, comparatively, as I see here, and then supported by Dr. Imran, who is his dean. He's always on his side. So when the captain or the boss is on your side, then subordinates work enthusiastically and with courage and zeal. So I believe enough for me. So I'm thankful, and Allah bless you all.
Sir, thank you very much for your precious time. And before Professor Khalid Mahmood talk, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Imran Sheikh Chaudhry to have a few words on the importance of proposal writing and thesis writing.
Thank you very much, Kamran. I'm really grateful to my Vardi Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Mansoor Akbar Kuni Sahab, and two really renowned professors and the learned experts in the department, in the subject of sociology, Professor Dr. Nora Zora Mohamdia, and from Malaysia, and Professor Dr. Khalid Mahmood Sahab from Punjab University. He is really great, such a great person and researcher. So I really earlier that Professor Dr. Mansoor Akbar Kuni Sahab, our Vice Chancellor, was telling about the skills and the potential for writing a research proposal, and anything that we can, if we just look and feel and think, and then that should be on the paper page. Similarly, now today that Dr. Kamran selected a topic to enlighten our research students on writing the research proposal. And I think so this type of webinar, which is being conducted on how to write the good research proposal, that would be I think very good lecture and webinar for the MPhil and PhD scholars who are writing, who are just in the phase of writing their research proposal. So though they have studied many courses of research methodology in their curricula and syllabus, but such type of webinars are always an example of giving practical knowledge and writing, so that the knowledge about the research proposal that the experts and learned members who got after writing many research papers, after supervising many research theses. So as far as this writing research proposal is concerned, my view is that this is a systematic process. So we cannot skip one of the step from the research proposal and research methodology. So it is a systematic process, and that should be done in accordance with all, keeping in view all the essential ingredients and components and the systematic process that is necessary for the research proposal and research. So I would say that the research in social sciences is very much important, because that directly addresses to the issues and problems of the society. And if the research does not address to the problems and issues of the society, that means so our research is not to that level of so where it should be addressed to the society. So because if research is being just only kept in the libraries and that is not being disseminated to the masses, to the people, to the following, to the coming researchers, then it means that so there is one of the flaw. So the research writing research proposal and the research methodology is very much important. That should be learned, and I think so this is a very good and golden opportunity for all the research students and scholars, so who want to learn really how to make, because so after doing this research in their academic research in MPhil and PhD degree, So after that, they will join the practical life. And when they will join the research organization or anything else, so or any educational institution where they need to go for writing research proposal for the research project. So that is very much important, because nowadays in the world, and the universities are progressing based on the research proposals, writing for the research projects for their academic purposes. So I think so, to keeping in view all that circumstances and keeping in view the importance of the research in the academic and research institutions. So this webinar is very much important in the sense that the students and the researchers will learn. So thank you very much, Kamran. And I wish that I could listen so the very valuable and important things from our experts regarding the research proposal. So thank you very much for inviting me. And it's really a great opportunity for all of the students. They belong to the Faculty of Social Sciences, and particularly from the students from your department. So you are really a great job you are doing right from many years. Thank you very much for organizing this wonderful and very learning webinar. Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much for your kind words. And Alhamdulillah, at this time, more than 25 university teachers, MPhil, PhD scholars, they are attending our session through Zoom and through Facebook Live. And before Professor Khalid Mahmood talk, because Professor Dr. Noor will talk on the second term, but I would like to invite Professor Dr. Noor to have a few words on today's topic on proposal writing and thesis writing. Then Professor Khalid Mahmood will start his talk on literature review in research proposal. Professor Dr. Noor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to all of you there in Pakistan. Here is 1:30 p.m. in Kuala Lumpur. I make dua everyone is happy and healthy, safe out there. Alhamdulillah, thank you once again. Dr. Kamran, Professor Imran, and also Professor Mansoor Akbar, VC of Bahauddin Multan University, for inviting me again here. And I think I'm not a stranger now to the university, to the department, constantly having me to share a lot of things with your student. Well, basically, to me, this is a very pertinent engagement, a pertinent discourse to all who are in their writing stage. Okay, your MA and PhD student. To me, proposal is basically pitching. Okay, your idea, what solution you would like to offer to the society on several issues that is ongoing in your country, whether it is COVID-19, migration, education, a lot of things. And the proposal in which you will write we'll use a strategic tool to obtain relevant data, and believe me, it will teach you to articulate your thoughts, your observation, including your emotions in a very academic manner. So I hope I'm able to share with you a few things from my own experience supervising several students, including one lecturer from Fatima Jinnah University. She was under my supervision, and she completed her PhD in 2.5 years. So that is an achievement not only to me as the supervisor, but perhaps to the entire academic in Pakistan. So inshallah, we will meet right after Professor Khalid deliver his speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Noor. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to introduce our first guest speaker, Professor Dr. Khalid Mahmood. Professor Dr. Khalid Mahmood is currently working as a professor, Department of Information Management, University of Punjab, and Dean, Faculty of Economics and Management Sciences, University of Punjab. Dr. Khalid Mahmood is an ambitious, energetic, and renowned personality of library and information science in Pakistan and overseas. He has completed his HEC-sponsored postdoctoral research at the Department of Information Studies, Graduate School of Education and Information Studies, University of California, Los Angeles, USA in 2010 and 11. And he did his master in 1989 and PhD in 2004 from the Punjab University. He also completed Master in Islamic Studies and Bachelor of Law from the same university, and he has completed postgraduate diploma in library management from the Netherlands in 1996. He joined the Department of Library Information Science, University of Punjab in 1993 as a lecturer, and he selected as associate professor in 2004, and later he joined the professor of Library and Information Science. He served as a chairman of department from 2006 to 9. The department during his time achieved remarkable progress under his dynamic leadership. And Saudi Arabia in 2013 to 16. More than of well-known research, and he is the member of many editorial board of various relevant journals. So he has attended more than 200 research workshops, seminars as a guest speaker, and many of the travel grants locally and foreign.
Dr. Kamran, are you here?
Yes, there was a connectivity
There was
issue.
some interruption from the internet.
So, Professor,
I think there are some problems of internet connectivity.
Yes, sir. No voice is clear, sir.
Either from
No
my
voice is
part.
clear, and I would like to invite Professor Khalid Mahmood to please start his talk on the literature review in research proposal, which is very much important because many of our PhD MPhil scholars, they have joined us from Bahauddin Zikria University Multan, from the Punjab University, and more than 25 universities, professors, scholars, MPhil, PhD, masters, and BSc students, they have joined us through Zoom and Facebook Live. So over to Professor Dr. Khalid Mahmood.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much, Professor Kamran and Professor Imran and Professor Mansoor Akbar Kundi Saab for inviting me to present my presentation or my ideas to the august body of students and teachers at BZU Multan. So let me start my presentation. So I'm going to share my screen with you. There is a message, Dr. Kamran, host disabled participant screen sharing. So if you please allow me to share my screen.
Yes, sir. Now you can share your screen, sir.
Okay. So we have to write literature review as an important part of a research proposal. Even we have to do this work before writing the actual proposal. So I'm going to share with you what are the components of the literature review. specifically when we want to write it for a research proposal. So first of all, here is my introduction. So Dr. Kamran has beautifully introduced me, rather a detailed introduction he has given. Then the acknowledgement. So everything I'm going to share with you, I have taken from the websites, from books, from presentations of others. So in the beginning, I want to thank all of them. So normally in the presentations, we do not cite the books and other things. So in the beginning, it is better to acknowledge all the authors and seniors who have given us the important knowledge. So first of all, I should minimize this. Okay. So what is literature review? So literature review is always a body of text that aims to review the critical points of current knowledge. So in a piece of research, we always have to bring the previous knowledge before us, and the research is actually the contribution or the continuation of the existing knowledge. So in a research proposal, we have to do a literature review. I want to share with you my observation during my stay in USA. So in USA, they write a PhD or doctoral dissertation of about 100 or 120 pages, not more than that. But I have seen there in USA research proposals of 250 pages, a proposal of more than 300 pages. So my question was there from my supervisors or other professionals there, that why your students write a big size of a proposal. So they showed me some of the proposals. So all those proposals were full of literature review. So they do a comprehensive literature review to write a research proposal. So even the bigger than the actual doctoral dissertation. So literature review is a review of the previous literature. So we have to bring some points before us before starting our work. So why do we need a literature review in a research proposal? So there are many reasons. For example, we want to define and delimit our problem. So we want to place the study in historical perspective. So we want to avoid unintentional and unnecessary replication of the study. Then we want to select promising methods and measures to do our work. And we want to develop our research hypothesis for our study. So for all these purposes, we need to do a literature review comprehensively. So what is the literature? So in research, all kinds of literature. So these are some examples of the literature. So there are many kinds: books, journals, conference papers, theses, bibliographies, maps, internet, indexing, abstracting, databases, even multimedia, audiovisual material, CDs, DVDs, or any other forms of electronic recording or reporting. So we need government reports, magazines, newspapers, gray literature. So gray literature here means the literature which is not available from the regular or from the formal publishers or literature producing agencies. So for example, pamphlets or posters or something like that. So even we need interviews and sometimes unpublished reports or unpublished research. So these all are the kinds of literature for the purpose of literature review. So there are steps in literature review. So first of all, we have to search and find the literature. Then we have to evaluate that literature. Then we will read those literature pieces critically. Then we will analyze the literature for the purpose of review. And then we will synthesize our analyzed pieces of literature. And at the end, we will write and present our literature review in the form of a section in the proposal. So the first step is searching and finding literature. So there are three levels of information regarding the literature. So first level is bibliographic information. So here bibliographic information means only the index information, or the most important information of a reading of an item. For example, the name of the author, the title, the name of the journal, volume, issue, or the month or year of the journal, and pages. And the next level is the abstract. And you all know that abstract is a brief or is a summary of that document. And another level is the full text of the document. So in these days, there are databases, so from which we can get bibliographic information as well as abstract of the document. And in the end, we can get the full text of the information. So in the printed form, we can contact the libraries for full text of information. And nowadays, in the form of electronic books or electronic journals, we can contact the online databases provided by Higher Education Commission or our university libraries, or there are many free websites which are providing the full text of the articles and books. So there are formal and informal sources of literature. So libraries, databases are formal, and informal sources include the experts or your colleagues or the unknown or non-formal websites, so which provide or who provide the literature to you. So there are two types of literature, print and online. So for print, you have to go to a library, and for online, you will have to go to the internet or a database. So the next step is evaluating the literature. So we normally evaluate literature for two purposes. So the first purpose is the evaluation for relevance. So the literature I have selected, or I have found out through my search. So I have to evaluate that literature with the relevance to my need or to my objective. So for relevance, we will have to see the index of a book, chapter or section headings of a book, then abstract of an article. So by reading an abstract, we can decide that we need the full text or not. So we can read introduction and conclusion sections of the articles, or we can see the references or bibliography section of the article or book. So looking at all these areas of a book, we can decide that the full text is relevant to our need or not. So another point in evaluation is for reliability. So you all know that nowadays, and specifically after the emergence of social media, there is a lot of disinformation or misinformation. So there is a lot of unreliable information. So we have to see also whether the literature is reliable or not. So we have to see the audience for which the book or article has been written. So the authority means who is the author, organizing body of the conference, for example. So, and you know, there are many reputed publishers, and there are many dubious publishers in the world. So we have also have to see the bias in the book. So after some experience, we can easily identify the element of bias in a book or article. The next point is currency. So we have to see the information is current, information is up to date, or the information is old one. And then we have to see the scope of the, for which purpose they have written that book, or for whom they have written that book. So the cover scope means coverage actually. So what the book or article has covered regarding that topic. So this is the evaluation criteria for literature. The next step is the reading, and here it is not a normal or usual reading. So we have to read the literature critically. So what is critical reading? So here is the definition: an active approach to reading that involves an in-depth examination of the text. Memorization and understanding of the text is achieved. Additionally, the text is broken down into its components and examined critically in order to achieve a meaningful understanding of the material. So it is not a usual reading, it is the complete examination, in-depth examination of the text. So we have to make our understanding after reading, and then we are able to, or we become able to give our feedback or give our reflection on that literature. So here are the techniques of critical reading. So the first step is previewing. It is an overview of the reading. Then we take notes. So we read the text word to word, and then we take notes, and then we do our critical reading. So it means we read the document at least 2 times. Then we are able to summarize the document, and at the end we are able to give our critical response to that reading. So the definition is good or bad, the definition is relevant or not, the date of any event is right or wrong. So the point of view is the point of view given by the author is supported by the evidence or not. So there are relevant examples or not. So with the help of critical reading, so we are able to give our reflection on that reading. Then the step is analyzing. So at the analyzing stage, there are some points. So we should choose a question to guide our analysis. So always there is a question in our mind, so for which we are reviewing the literature. Then look at and examine the author's argument structure. We should focus the claims given in the reading. So statements that require support by evidence. So there may be some assumptions, the writer's underlying beliefs, opinions, principles, or inferences that connect evidence to the claims. So is there enough evidence for claims or not? So findings consistent with those of similar studies or not? So these are the methods of analyzing a piece of literature. Then the step is synthesizing literature. So we have our notes before us. So the notes were made with the help of many different literature. So synthesize means to get together the pieces of the literature review. So at this stage, so we have to bring these points before us. So the first point is, how does each reading relate to your topic and purpose? So then define your argument or thesis. So what is my argument or my thesis or my claim in my study? Identify major trends or patterns emerging from the readings. Reassemble your notes based on the results of readings using organizational aids such as post-its, flags. So post-it, you have seen some small size stickers of yellow colors normally. So we can use those stickers or flags, or nowadays we can use MS Word for this purpose. So we can make many files for different notes, or we can make different parts in a file, MS Word file. So we can take notes in MS Word file, or any other editing device on your mobile even, or on your tab. So create a detailed topic outline. So for writing the literature review, we have to make a detailed topic outline. So we have to distribute or divide our topic into small pieces. So there must be an outline. So in the outline, we have many headings and subheadings, and we can write our literature review under those headings and subheadings. So in synthesizing literature, there are some other points. Note consistency of results from study to study, note discrepancies among studies, and provide possible explanations such as dates of studies, different methodologies. Note landmark studies, and if replicated topic, you can find some land. So note how individual studies help illustrate or advance theoretical beliefs. Note gaps or areas needing more research. So the last point is very important. So with the help of literature review, you will be able to identify a gap to do your research, to start your work. So in this step, you will be able to write and identified gap. So here is an example of the topic outline. So look at this. This is a topic: psychological aspects of organ donation, individual and next of kin donation decisions. So the next portion is the outline. So starting from introduction, then the parts of the main body of the outline, and at the end there is a conclusion. So always we have to make an outline to write our literature review. Then what should be the organization pattern of literature review in our study or in our proposal? So we have to start with the broader topics, then the next is the subtopics, and then studies like yours. So the literature review looks like a funnel in its. Next one, how to organize study review the previous literature, like the how can you organize those studies. So there are three methods. The first method is chronological. So you can organize your studies with the date of publication or with the trend in your science or in your area. Another kind of organization is thematic. So you can organize your studies theme by theme. And another method is methodological. So you can organize your studies by the type of methodology. For example, you can group all qualitative researches in a one topic, or group the quantitative approaches or quantitative methods in another group, and you can combine the mixed method studies in another group. So these three types are the organization styles of your studies. Means merely writing paragraph after paragraph is not a good practice in literature review. Sometimes we see the work of our students. So we see that they write one paragraph for each study, and they summarize the study in the form of review, and they write one paragraph, then another, then another. So it is not a good practice. So all of your literature review should be linked together, and there must be a logical sequence. So these are some words. For agreements, you may use similarly, likewise, also, again, and for disagreement, you may use however, on the other hand, conversely, nevertheless. So these are the words which you can use to make links between studies in your paragraphs. So actually, all these slides are some tips for you. You can make a summary table of your literature review also. So such a table provides a quick overview that allows the reviewer to make sense of a large mass of information. The table could include columns with the headings such as author, type of study, sample, design, data collection approach, key findings, for example. Here you can see an example of the table. So in this table, you can see some columns, and there are subdivisions also for studies. So many studies you can show in this table for the purpose of literature review. So bibliographical style you have to use for writing a literature review. So there are many bibliographical, or these are called style manuals or publication manuals also. So it depends on the science or arts or social science in which you are working. So there are many styles: APA's, American Psychological Association, Thropian, Chicago, MLA, Harvard style, CSE. So you can find many. Them are free also to manage your citations. EndNote is very common, Mendeley is very common, Zotero is common. So you can use these softwares for managing your citations, managing your literature, and with the help of that management, you can write a literature review in a better way. Next one is the citation styles. You can see the examples. These are examples from APA. So there are other presentations regarding APA or other styles. So you can see the presentations on my YouTube channel. The channel name is Information, Education and Research. You can search this channel on YouTube. So you may find many other citation styles and other things related to literature or literature review. So information prominent citation. So look at the example. So give the information first and write the author's name in the last. Author prominent citation is if the author is more prominent or more important, then start your paragraph with the name of the author. So these are the examples. Reporting verbs you can use. We see the students' work, they always or mostly use the word state or said or something like that, but you can use many reporting words: argue, assert, assume, challenge, claim. So an author proved that, and an author proposed that, an author disputed with the other, so an author found that, maintained that. So you can use these words. So at the end, we have brought for you some examples from the verb tenses you have to use in your literature review. So you can use the present tense in these examples, a statement about what the thesis chapter or section does. This thesis presents, so this is the present indefinite tense. So look at the second example, a statement of a generally accepted scientific fact. There are 3 factors that control the concentration of aluminum in seawater. Here are other examples of present tense, a review of current research work or research work of immediate relevance to your study. So Schulze concludes that hydraulic, so this is again present indefinite tense. Comments, explanations, and evaluative statements made by you when you are reviewing previous studies. So therefore, this sequential approach is impractical. It is again present tense. But in general, you used past tense to show the previous studies. Report the contents, findings, or conclusions of past research. Haberfield showed that the velocity Ellington 99 found that. So this is the example of past indefinite tense. You may use present perfect tense in some cases in citations where the focus is on the research area of several authors. Several studies have provided. So have provided means, so this is example of present perfect tense. To generalize about the extent of the previous research, so many studies have been conducted. This is again present perfect tense. So this is the last slide. Here are some points. A good literature review is or must be or should be focused, concise, logical, developed, integrative, and current. So these are the points from my side. If we, Dr. Sahab, if we have some time, so if there are any questions, so we can take some of the questions. So
Yes, Dr.
Sahab, up to you, Dr.
Yes.
Sahab. It is up to you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Dr. Saab. Really, it was a very amazing your lecture on literature review in research proposal. Our students, our MPhil scholars, PhD scholars, even our faculty members from Bahauddin Zikriya University, Multan, and other universities, they are joining this lecture through Zoom and through live. And really, you guide us beautifully about the searching and finding the literature, how to evaluate the literature, how to check the source, because many of the disinformation, misinformation nowadays happening day by day, and you guide us how to critically evaluate the thesis, how to check the source, and you guide us linking words and reporting verbs. And definitely our students, our participants, I will share your YouTube channel link with them, and definitely our students, they will try their level best to add your valuable presentation in their upcoming research work, their thesis. So today we have 2 questions from our participant. And firstly, I will call to the Abdul Rauf. Abdul Rauf, your mic is now open, and you can ask your question to Professor Dr. Khalid Mahmood.
Ji Abdul Rauf Sahab. Ji Mr. Abdul Rauf.
Please hear me, sir. Can you
Ji,
please, sir,
please.
hear me?
Yes, it is clear.
Sir, thanks a lot for your precious time. I have a question regarding sources of literature review. You have mentioned that newspapers can be added for literature review, but it is said that newspapers are not a proper source for doing a literature review. Can you please explain it?
No, which is not proper source?
Newspapers.
No, newspaper. No. Actually, it depends on the on the information you are using in your literature review. It always depends. So if you have an authentic book written by an authentic or authoritative writer, so then this book is more important for your literature review. But sometimes you have to use the information taken from newspapers. So there is no other authentic source. So in this case, newspaper is a part of literature and you can use it. For example, you want to use some information which have been published yesterday only. So the information which was created yesterday, you can't find an authentic book on that. So in this case, there is only one source, and that is the newspaper. So among the newspapers, you can be choosy among the newspapers. So for example, in Pakistan, though the Dawn is more important, Dawn is more authentic than the others. So if a news item appears in more than one newspapers, then you can go for the authentic, which is more important in your eyes or in your opinion. So newspaper is very much a piece of on the nature of the information which you are quoting.
Sir, while choosing a newspaper for our research proposal, can we decide its nature according to our research? My question is like that newspapers can be a proper source for doing like CDA or...
Yes, it can be. I have given you an example. If a piece of information was first time created yesterday, so there is no other source, no other authentic source to quote for that information. So if there is a website of a government institution, so the government institutions are always more important or more reliable information sources. So if a piece of information was created first time in the world yesterday, then the only source is a newspaper. So among the newspapers, you can find a more authentic newspaper among the newspapers.
Okay, sir, I got your point.
Okay, thank you very much. Our next participant is Afshan Qureshi.
It is a valid and it is a reliable source of information, and you can freely use it for the purpose of literature review. So there is no harm, there is no problem.
Thank you, sir. Afshan, your mic is open. Please ask your question to Professor Dr. Khalid Mahmood. And you can ask a question to our respected Professor Dr. Khalid Mahmood.
Yes, please.
Okay, another participant, Parvez. I just opening his
yes,
mic.
Parvez, I'm looking at your chat box.
No, sir, you can type a question. I am converting him in panelist.
Opened the chat.
Yes, Parvez, your mic is open. Please, you can ask your question now.
Yes. Just use your mic, or you can use the chat box.
Parvez can open his mic, sir.
Okay.
Parvez, open your mic and ask your question, please.
So there are some problems and some challenges of using online technology.
Hello.
Yes, Parvez, your mic is open, please.
Yes, please, Parvez.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Welcome, Parvez, sir.
Yeah, I'm from Jammu and Kashmir. I have a question regarding review of literature.
Okay.
If there is no gap in previous research
Okay.
after rigorous study. So how can I do research on same topic?
Okay. So you see that you think that there is no gap.
Because you know
So
a lot of
I am laughing on this statement.
yeah.
So
No, sir. It is,
if you say that if you say that there is no gap, there is
yes, sir.
always a gap. There is
Yes.
always a gap. So the
But sir,
human beings, they are working in all the areas of life, but there is always a room, or there is always a need to enhance that research. So there is always a gap. There is always, for example, I will give you an example.
yes, sir.
If you use an air conditioner in your room
Yes, sir.
to make the air in your room cool.
Yes, sir.
So the air conditioner we are using these days consume much of the energy, much of the electricity. Air conditioner are costly. Okay,
Yes, sir.
air conditioner produces sound or noise in the room. Okay,
Yes. Yes, sir.
so for the purpose of improving the air conditioner, we should invent, or we should improve the air conditioner which can consume a less of energy,
Yes,
which
sir.
is cheaper than the air conditioner nowadays.
Yes,
So
sir.
the air conditioner with the noise less or sound less. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and there must be some other methods to cool our body, to make our body cool. So maybe in the future there may be a piece of chemical or piece of something which you can put in your fragrance or a perfume. So you put in the room, and your room will be cooler. Or there may be a medicine. You can take a medicine, एक गोली सुबह दोपहर शाम, and your body feels cool. So
Yes, sir.
you don't need an air conditioner. So there is always a room for doing further research. Always. It is not possible in any area of life that there is no gap. So you
Yes,
can
sir.
find a gap. So but when you are able to find a gap, then when you read a lot of literature, means virtually everything on that particular topic, so automatically the gap comes into your mind. So you will
Yes,
see the
sir.
gap. So
Yes, sir.
before reading the literature, you cannot see the gap. So this is my
But sir, it is
answer.
right. I understand your valuable guidance. But problem is that if there is already a lot of research has been done on the topic, so my supervisor
Okay.
told me that this topic has been done already, previous scholars. So how can you made
Normally,
yes? How can you made
okay,
objectives?
okay, okay, okay,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
So in the world, normally the practice is that in those areas in which more research have been worked, more research is available. So in those areas, there are more topics or more gaps. So in those
Yes, sir.
areas in which more research is available in the world, that research has more gaps. Okay. So I don't agree with your opinion, or with your supervisor's opinions that
Yes, sir.
many of the students have written on this
Yes, sir.
topic and you cannot do anything. So
Yes,
actually
sir. Can I?
it depends on your smartness. So how smartly or how vigorously you have reviewed the literature. So if you have a command on the literature, so
Yes,
you
sir.
will find many topics in your mind. You will find.
Yes,
So it all
sir. I
depends
have. Yeah,
on the level of grasp you have on the literature.
I told my supervisor that I can do parallel research on that topic that I have chosen to my research. Can
No,
I do?
it depends on the identification of the gap. So you
Yes,
can
sir.
do a panel research, you can do some other types of research. It depends on the gap.
Yes, sir. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
So you can relate the gap with your methodology.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
But this is not a
Thank-
problem. After reading the literature, after reviewing the literature, it will not be a problem for you.
Thank
It
you.
will be easy for you.
Yes, thank you very
Sir,
much.
sir, thank you very much for your precious time. Really, it was a very amazing your lecture, and I'm confident our listener, and definitely they will improve their research by helping your presentation. So now we have another guest speaker from
So
International
thank you,
Islamic.
Doctor. I beg leave from this webinar. So I was enjoying this webinar. So I have another meeting. So I beg leave. So doctor from Malaysia. So Assalamu alaikum. So see you again, inshallah. So Dr. Kamran, thank you very much. So Dr. Imran Chaudhry. So thank you very much, sir. Allah Hafiz.
Really,
thank you
Dr.
very
Sabit, I'm really grateful and thank you very much for your time and precious time that you have given to our university. And really, Dr. Sabit, your lecture, this seminar was very excellent. So I have seen your presentation. Really, that was a really thought-provoking, and that is very helping for our immediate, so simple researcher who wants to start the research. If I think he goes through this is a presentation, so he will learn a lot. Thank you very much
So thank
for
you
your
very much, sir. Thank you.
time, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
See you again,
sir,
sir.
thank
See you again. Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.
Allah
Allah.
Hafiz, sir.
Thank
you very much.
you. Thank you, Khalid. Thank you, Khalid Saab. Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much. Dr. Khalid Mood, he delivered talk on literature review in research proposal. Now we have another guest speaker from International Islamic University, Professor Dr. Noor Azura Mohamdia. I want to introduce herself. Dr. Noor Azura Mohamdia is currently working as an associate professor at the Department of Sociology and Anthropology, International Islamic University, Malaysia. She received her PhD from the University of Western Australia in the field of medical anthropology. She has served IIUM for 23 years, and she was the head of department from 2011 to 16, and currently she is involved in research-related physical activities in minorities group, women and health, and people with disability. And she has she received many awards because of her scholarly work. In 2020, she earned High Impact Responsible Research Award, and in 2007, Best Presenter Award she earned from at the International Conference, University of Western Australia, and in 2005, she earned the Best Teacher Award, and she is an editorial member of many renowned journals, and mostly are recognized an impact factor, and she is also contributing to many Pakistani universities as an PhD examiner, thesis examiner. So over to Professor Dr. Noor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning to all of you there in Pakistan. Thank you, Dr. Kamran, for that short introduction about me. May I share my slide now? You can hear me loud and clear, am I right?
Yes.
All right, okay, good. Can you see the slide now?
Yes.
Is it coming? Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's clear.
It's clear. Okay. First of all, let me once again thank Bahauddin Zakaria University of Multan for inviting me. And Alhamdulillah, Professor Khalid has made my presentation a lot more faster and easier. He has taken up the initiative to share the most, well, I shall say challenging, and I think to some students, boring part of the proposal, which is the literature review. Now, it's now my turn to share some other important things pertaining to writing a research proposal, be it MA, MPhil, or PhD proposal. So the same rules apply. So if you have any question, you can interrupt me, or else you can write in the chat box. All right. So this is the topic of my presentation, how to write a proposal with maximum punch. I will not be taking a lot of your time. I will focus only on 4 items in this presentation. Okay, if you can see from my second slide, all right. Well, let us look into the first point that I would like to share to, with all of you today. All right. Now, I'm aware, before I begin to share with you more seriously about proposal, writing a proposal, I would like to remind all students who are listening that writing proposal is not simply, you just write for fun, you write for the sake of writing it. Now, this is normally what I tell my student prior to writing their proposal, so that they understand why we need to write a proposal, why we need to maintain some level of, quality and other things. Now, in general, proposal involves, to me, 7 important elements, all right? The first one is interest, interest. You must have, a strong interest on that particular topic. For example, COVID-19, physical activity, migration, public health, poverty, aging population, the list goes on and on. So it all comes from your interest, and you want to explore, investigate more. Next is, you have to understand that when you do your proposal, you must invest. Invest what? Invest your time reading. Like what Professor Khalid said earlier, you have to read a lot. You have to read not only about Pakistan, but you have to read about the whole world. The topic which you want to study. You have to invest not only a time, but also a small amount of money, perhaps to print the articles and whatnot. And yes, your energy. Next, you are the owner of this proposal. Because some of my colleague out there, the students, they don't understand. They are what? They are used to spoon feed, ever since in their undergraduate. So they expect supervisors, to supply them with all information. So you have to take control. You are the owner of this proposal. You are the researcher, who will conduct the investigation. However, you're not working alone. You have to maintain a close partnership with your supervisor. That is why you assign 1 or 2 supervisors, all right? To monitor your progress, to provide assistance if you are not clear at any level of your writing phase. So you have to meet your supervisor. And normally, in my case, I meet my supervisor every fortnight. Fortnight. Previously it was a physical meeting. Now it is online. So you have to maintain that close contact with your supervisor. Please do not make U-turn when you see your supervisor on campus. Some students, because they did not complete their work, they will run away. They see their supervisor, they make a U-turn, or they go somewhere else, the long way, to go to other places around uni. So please, maintain a good partnership with your supervisor. For your information, I still keep a good relationship with all my students all over the world, not only Malaysia, even though now they have occupied a better position, more pay than I do. All right. Next, proposal is all about talking about ideas. Therefore, if you have an idea, share with your friends, share with your supervisor, share with other lecturers. Perhaps, they are able to provide you some feedbacks, provide you a different perspective on how you look at the issues you plan to investigate. So not only you maintain close contact with your supervisor, at the same time, okay, you also talk to your friends who are currently doing their proposal or research. All right. So the next element is progress. So when you write your proposal, okay, there must be a progress. You cannot be there all the time. Introduction. Okay, it has been 2 months. Where are you now? I'm still at introduction, Professor. 4 months. Where are you now? I'm still at introduction. 6 months, still at introduction. Okay, so this is not good. Okay, because when you do research, when you write proposal, there must be progress. Okay, there must be progress, and this progress must be monitored also by your supervisor. The last one is proposal involve planning. Okay, proposal involve planning. From day one, okay, you voice out your interest, okay, your topic, your idea to your supervisor. Okay, it must has some kind of systematic way of doing things. Okay, you must stick to the time plan. Okay, first month, what you want to achieve. So you have to chart all your milestones. Okay, and I'm sure all of you are aware of that, the Gantt chart and whatnot that your university is using. All right. So I hope this gave a clear background for those who, because I'm not so sure the level of audience. I was told that different background. Am I right, Dr. Kamran? You are still in your first year. You are just starting to, find a topic to write your proposal, things like that. So I hope, okay, this will be of a useful information. All right. So don't take proposal as something, it's like a Nobel Prize. Okay. If you cannot write like that, okay, you will fail. No. Okay. Because writing proposal, okay, has several or involves several phases and also a step. So that when you understand the whole thing here, things will be less stressful. You are not so overwhelmed. Okay, it can be done. Okay, trust me, it can be done. All right. So moving on to the next slide. So this is what I told you earlier. It is a phase by phase or step by step process where, okay, from, say for example, if you are here, you still searching for the research area that you want to propose, okay, as your project. So you need to do a lot of brainstorming. Once you are done with the brainstorming, okay, you move to the next step, next level, which is, searching for the literature. You develop, you synthesize what you have found, all right? And then this one I cut briefly, okay? And then next, okay, once all is done, definitely you have to go for your proposal defense. So I'm not so sure Pakistan universities, okay, whether they have proposal defense at MA or PhD. We do have, okay, in our university. So prior to the presentation, you must make sure that your proposal or perhaps your thesis, okay, have been proofread so that there's no typos, grammatical mistakes, and whatnot. All right. Next, when this is done, okay, you will embark to a next journey of getting a permission from, in our case, okay, the ethics, human ethics, okay, human ethics research committee to get permission. So I'm not so sure, okay, of the practice of Pakistan University. I did not see because I have examined more than 5 theses from several universities in Pakistan. I did not see anything of that kind. So perhaps this is my suggestion. The graduate school, okay, or department should emphasize on ethics. All right. And when all this has been given, not enjoy for fun with your money and go shopping online, okay, but you start to do your field work. So we're talking basically about the process in the proposal level. All right. So don't worry. So this this person here, okay, he's happy. Okay, so writing proposal is not a sad thing to do. It's not a sad thing to do. Believe me, I know it is challenging. I've been through the process, but once you reach here, you will be, I mean, you will forget, okay, all the hardship and struggle during this phases. Okay, another thing that I always remind my student is to always prepare a proposal checklist so that, okay, you will not miss a thing. All right, so this is the proposal checklist that I share with my students. Perhaps, okay, you can do a bit of modification with your supervisor. You need to understand, number one, okay, the purpose why you are writing a proposal. Is it okay if without proposal we can simply conduct research? Okay, so you must be clear of why you have to conduct, okay, to write a proposal, to conduct research. So you have to understand the purpose. That's number one. Number two, okay, when you want to write your proposal, okay, you must write in such a manner, okay, the title and the content is catchy and also engaging, so that when evaluators, when the committee evaluate your proposal, or examiners, okay, reading your thesis, they do not want to put that aside. They want to flip, okay, more and more pages. They find it, you know, interesting. So you have to capture, you have to attract that attention by writing a catchy and engaging title. I will show you, okay, some examples from my own students shortly. All right, so what's next? Number three, I want all my students to follow the appropriate or official proposal template, okay, provided by the university. Okay, in our case, by the Center of Postgraduate Studies, they have prepared a manual, okay, for each and every student. So they have to download that from the website and follow the margin, the space, and whatnot. Okay, so this will save a lot of your time. This is not an writing a proposal is not an art class where you can simply use whatever font you like, whatever referencing style you love. Okay, if you listen carefully, okay, what Professor Khalid has shared with us earlier, so you have to maintain consistency. Okay, so you must make sure, okay, Dr. Kamran, you must make sure your student have download the official template, the one that is approved by the university, okay, not their own creation, okay, not their own creation. So this will reduce your stress and save a lot of your time. All right. So next, okay, it is time where you start to draft your plan. Okay, draft your plan. This one, I think, basically is the content of your proposal. You have your introduction, you have your literature review, you have your ROs and RQs, okay, research objective, research question. If you're doing quantitative, study, you will have your hypothesis, your pilot test, your research instrument, and whatnot. All right. So in between of that, okay, you need to talk about your idea. So when you talk about idea, not only to friends, or not only to your supervisor, the first person, the closest to you, but to your friends, okay. And I do encourage, okay, students to join conferences, okay, to join conferences, to share their ideas, to share their findings, even if, you know, at the proposal level. We do have that in our department, graduate seminar. So in this seminar, okay, we group all our students, okay, they will listen to one another and they will give feedbacks, right? And the last one, okay, you can start to write. Okay, you start to write, and normally I also want my student, okay, to understand the writing style that is, that your supervisor wants you to write, because different lecturers, okay, different supervisors, they have a different writing style. In my case, okay, I prefer my student to write reflexive ethnography. So the use of word I instead of the researcher, okay, the researcher, okay, is used in that particular proposal or a thesis. So you need to get all this thing ready. You need to get all this thing, settled before, okay, another huge storm, coming in, right? So once, your ship is ready, okay, your tools are ready, believe me, inshallah, you can, okay, you can have smooth sailing, right? Now let me show you some examples. Well, I have two only. Okay. Now, when I said just now earlier, a catchy and engaging title. So if you look at two of my MA students' proposal, okay, this is from Brunei. Okay, the title is Barriers to Employment Among Youth with Disabilities in Brunei Muara District. Okay, Brunei Darussalam. Okay, so the issue that she wants to highlight or investigate are barriers to employment among the disabled people. So this is very interesting because why? Not many of us know what are the barriers. Okay, why? Okay, why disabled people are not employed? So this, okay, makes me want to know more, and people out there reading her thesis later. They have some kind of curiosity. All right. The next one here. Okay. The next one here. Maintaining social praxis. Okay. Of Rewang. Rewang is a traditional activity among the Javanese people. In English, we call it as joint venture collaboration. Okay, maintaining social praxis of Rewang among Javanese youth in Tanjung Karang, Selangor. We know, in Malaysia, in Selangor specifically, this particular behavior is not popular, okay, among the youth in that particular place, okay. But this student wanted to investigate, okay, how the youth maintain the social praxis. So this is very interesting. So write something, okay, something eye-catching, okay, something eye-catching. And something, creative. Okay, something creative. Okay. I have only a few slides, so don't worry. I will finish, I think, before 3 p.m. here Malaysia time. Now, the next point that I want to highlight here is you need to write a strong introduction. What do I mean by a strong introduction? Okay, so these are the 3 points here. Okay, the first one is introduce your topic sufficiently, meaning you have to, describe the magnitude of the issue or the problem that you wish to investigate. Not only in Pakistan, but globally, okay, globally. For example, let me give you one example. So challenges of online teaching and learning, right? Online teaching and learning. So don't talk about Pakistan only, but see what the entire world or how the entire world, students and lecturers, professors, okay, are struggling, okay, to come to terms with online teaching, okay, students online learning. So you start with information about the topic in general, and bit by bit, okay, you build up, towards the main statement. If your focus is hardship, challenges of online teaching and learning, so from there you can expand more. Okay, you have to understand that you have to maintain focus. You don't write a lot of things, right? But you must have a systematic way of doing things. Start with the general picture and you go down narrowing the topic. Okay, so once you narrow the topic, you can put in your cut here. So this is the one that I will focus more. All right, next, in the strong introduction, in the introduction as well, you need to describe your reasons, okay? So you must write a compelling rationale, okay? Earlier just now, I listened that one student said that, okay, well, there are thousands of people writing about the same topic. Now, let me tell you that when I did my PhD on menopause, there are 100,000, okay, 100,000 of people have published, okay, have, wrote about menopause. definitely it's an overwhelming figure. Oh, prof, okay, what should I write? Hundred thousands of people out there have written on the same topic. But hey, look, okay, you have one specific thing, okay, that is not being investigated. That is not being investigated. So you have to, okay, write a very, compelling rationale. Why? Okay, despite that 1 million people has written on the same topic, I want to do the same topic, okay, but on a different ground, on a different reason, using a different theoretical framework, different methodology, different sample, okay, so that your research will be outstanding. So don't you worry, okay, don't you worry. In fact, as I speak now, okay, hundreds of literature on menopause is coming in. All right. So yeah, don't you worry. You have always a room for you to conduct your own research on the same topic. Formulate your objectives, okay, for your research, okay. Your research question, you have to be clear on that. And the third one, justify your research. State, okay, what kind of contribution that you will make, okay, by doing this research on the same topic, for instance. All right. Explain how your research will go one step further. Okay, you guys have done that, but I'm doing differently. Okay, so I will be a bit, okay, I'm higher than you people. Okay, because what? In terms of treatment, in terms of location, sample, okay, mine is, different. So what you have to do, you don't have to be, you don't have to appear panic, okay. Other people are doing the same title in other parts of the world, perhaps in Malaysia. We are also studying about Pakistan, okay. So you don't have to worry about us, okay. What you have to worry is, whether you are clear what you want to do, you understand which, okay, appropriate tools you want to do, and at the end of the day, what you hope to achieve. All right. Next is writing a good thesis statement. Okay, so there are a few things that I want to share with all of you today. Okay, number one, you have to write a strong statement. Earlier, I said strong introduction, now strong statement, okay? Why? Because you want to prove to your readers, you want people to understand that, hey, look, okay, I am serious about this, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to prove that, okay, excuse me, okay, my hypothesis is this, all right? So the first one is strong statement. Highlight the purpose of your proposal. And then that thesis statement must be original. Okay, right. I want you to use word in which that it serves the purpose. And normally I get my student to use a very strong word. For example, examine, to investigate. Okay. Not so much to describe and to explain. The word describe and explain is very much of a low-level research, for example, undergraduate. But for a higher level, okay, the word must be, a bit stronger. Okay, short. Okay, statement is short but powerful to shape the theme. I'll share you the next slide. Statement is short. Yes.
Please, if you maximize your screen, it will be more visible. Now it's visible, it's clear, but if you maximize, it will be more good. Yes, please run you. Yes.
Okay. All right. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, good. Okay. Okay, so I'll show you shortly. Okay, a sample from my students' proposal. What do I mean by all this? Okay, number 5. Okay, number 5, detail. You must pay attention to what details. Okay, idea must be clear. Okay, you must elaborate. Your points. Okay, you have to make sure that what you want your readers to know is already there. Okay, so if I have questions about your proposal, perhaps I can find it there. Or because I was appointed as a thesis examiner, so if I have questions about the thesis or any point that is presented in the thesis or in the proposal, perhaps I can find it somewhere there. You don't expect your examiner to, to call you, organize Google Meet, to get you people to explain. In Australia, for your information, we don't have Viva. Okay, we don't have Viva in Australia. So is it good? Okay, well, it's not good at all. Okay, why? Because in Australia, they want us to write in a manner where if the examiner have question towards whatever we write, they will find the answer there. So we have to we have to write. We have to polish our writing skill. We have to be clear of what we wrote in our thesis. Okay. And then number 6, catchy. Statement must grab readers' attention. Okay, from the title. Okay, so don't take lightly the title. Okay, well, title is title. It has nothing to do with anything in the thesis. Okay, or in the proposal. No, from the title. Okay, it goes to all the subtopics. And also the paragraphs. Okay, the points that you highlighted. So if you want to maintain, capture your readers, your examiners, evaluators' attention, so you must maintain from the very beginning, the title, the introduction, the statement of a problem, and towards the end, until your conclusion. So you have to you have to maintain that. So statement must grab readers' attention. Not only statement, I normally advise my student the subtopic too. Okay, the subtopic too, because I'm in anthropology. So in anthropology, we write differently. Okay, unlike quantitative, you write very direct, using the third person voice. So in anthropology, our titles, the way we write is different. Okay, is different. All right, now let us look. I think this is some words. Let me just highlight. Okay, highlight the statement of a problem. So my student statement of a problem is only this one paragraph. Okay, it's only one paragraph. So when examiners, I read the statement of problem. This paragraph, I have a clear understanding what you hope to achieve, why there is a need to investigate this particular issue. I don't have to flip, and search for answer in other pages or in that particular section, but in a different paragraph. It must be, it must appear, it must appear the first paragraph of this topic statement of the problem. All right. Yes. Okay, I hope it is big enough. Okay, it is big enough for you people. Okay, now look at this one. Thus far, local researchers do not yet know how student athletes with disabilities view their participation in sports activities. Well, it's true. I do not know. Okay, I do not know. Okay, how these disabled students. The nature of their nature of participation in sports, how they feel about the potential challenges, what instrument they employ to cope with those challenges, what role school managers, teachers, and coaches in their sports participation. So for that matter, for all these things that my students have highlighted, there is a need. There is a need to explore. Use a strong word, to explore this topic further due to the significant upturn in the number of students with disabilities who attend mainstream schools in Malaysia, meaning more and more disabled students are going to school, and more of this group of people participate in sport. So, so my students wanted to know, what are they doing? How they come to terms with the challenges, who are assisting them in, sports and things like that. So you must, you must nail your statement of problem. Okay. Next is, I have problem sharing my slide with you, but never mind. Let me just adjust this. Can you see clearly? I hope so, Dr. Kamran.
Yes,
okay.
It's clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next is the study significance. Okay. So I will not, okay, I'm here not to teach you each and every section, but I pick and choose, okay, which aspect of your proposal or your thesis that normally examiners, okay, will give focus to. So before they go to the findings, they wanted to be clear of your statement of problem, research objective, okay, research question or hypothesis, and definitely the significance of study. So what you have to take note, everyone, students who are listening, okay, you have to clearly spell out that your research will contribute to the body of knowledge, okay, to the body of knowledge of in your own area of specialization. In sociology, perhaps, well, in sociology, we have urban sociology, we have rural sociology, we have economic sociology. So please be specific. Don't simply write, okay, my research will contribute to sociology. So we cannot see. We understand that all knowledge contributes, all research contributes to the body of knowledge, but be specific which knowledge, all right? Next, okay, as an examiner to several theses in Pakistan, I never see this one, and this one. Perhaps, okay, if I were to be appointed again as a PhD examiner, Dr. Kamran, I would love to see, okay, I would love to see how your research is linked with the sustainable development goals. Now, to make your research more relevant, more current, okay, more relevant, more current, you have to link your research with SDG. You have to link with national agenda of your own country, Pakistan. I'm sure you have, say, for example, aging policy, or zero illiteracy. I'm sure you have a lot of national agenda. So try to link your research with the national agenda of your nation, and never forget also to link your research with the interests of the stakeholders. For example, schools, universities, several industries, when examiners see, or perhaps people out there, see that your thesis are linked, your findings, or your proposal are linked to all this, perhaps opportunity, for industries, to invite you to work closely with them is very high, is very high. I have experienced that. In several occasions. Industries, other universities, contacted me, say, Dr. Azura, Dr. Noor, they call me Azura. Dr. Noor, can you please, send your student? We want to learn more about his or her research. Can your student help us? Can your student provide some, insights, to this project we have, in the government agencies, in the NGOs, and things like that. All right. So you have to make your research current and also relevant. Okay. Now let me show you another excerpt. From the proposal. Now, my student link. Link his research with the Malaysia Education Development Plan 2013 to 2025. This is what I meant just now. You link with the nation, the national agenda of the country. So in this, there are many plans. So perhaps you pick one or two plans, which one you want to address, all right? Another one here is, National Transformation 50. We call it TN50. So this is also another agenda that plays an important role in the in the discussion or in the discourse of disability in Malaysia. Okay, so this is the national agenda. I have another one here, the SDG. Okay, it's a bit messy. Let me see if I can enlarge that. Okay, so this is just now the barriers to employment among disabled people in Brunei. All right, so this particular student, she linked her research, with sustainable development goals. Okay, well, there are 17. Obviously, you will not link. You link with each and every goals. You pick and choose. Okay, those relevant. Okay, resonates your research. For example, goal number 1, poverty. Goal number 8, decent work and economic growth. We talk about, employment, unemployment. And the last one is reduce inequalities. Okay, we know that these disabled people are often marginalized, in the workplace. Okay, so she links her research with SDG goals. All right. So this is one of the examples what I have mentioned earlier. To link with SDG and whatever policies, of your country. All right. So the next one will be on literature review. I intend to cut short this talk. Because Professor Khalid has done an excellent job. Okay, I heard him just now about literature review, but let me just summarize. Okay, now in the literature, what you have to do. Okay, now literature is the most boring and challenging part. Okay, when you write your proposal and thesis, look at my eyes. All right, it's the most challenging part. So what normally I advise my student, you work in small chunks. Okay, now small chunks means what? You work in small topic or subsection. Normally I ask my student, okay, chapter 2, okay, when you write your literature, you begin with the overview or the magnitude of the problem globally. Globally. So you bring in studies, for example, challenges in online teaching during COVID. Okay, so you bring in all the literature from the UK, from Malaysia, from Singapore, from Australia, from New Zealand, America, and see the magnitude of the issue online problem. Okay, so that you can see. Once you are done with the overview, okay, or at the global level, how that particular issue is being addressed, okay, you go to the next chunk. Okay, you go to the next chunk. For example, online teaching in general. What is online teaching? How it is done? And then you go to say, for example, India subcontinent. Okay, you have your India, you have Pakistan, you have Bangladesh. Okay, so you try to see the literature only in your region, only in your continent. Say India subcontinent. See how India, how Pakistan, how Bangladesh, okay, students and lecturers, okay, are dealing with online teaching and learning. Okay, and then you narrow down to Pakistan. So that will reduce your stress. Because I know literature is vast, it's very big. Students do not know where to start because everyone is writing the same thing. So you have to what? You have to systematically, group your literature, right? So I hope that helps. Now, when you talk about the literature, you need to find literature associated with the topic, whether it is from sociology or from medicine, from economics, okay, from religious study, from history, okay. So you can bring them and see what other people write. You evaluate the paper, okay. You synthesize. You cite the literature appropriately. If you cite verbatim, make sure the page number is there, right? And then make a summary table of review literature. And you've seen one Prof. Khalid have shared with you earlier, and that is the same table too. I get my students to write and to show to me every time. Okay, every time they have done reading several literatures. So this will keep. You will keep track, okay, of what are the limitations, what other people have done, what are the future suggestion and recommendation. Okay, you must have that table. And last but not least, please do not plagiarize. Well, to avoid plagiarism, what you can do, 3 ways: you can summarize, you can quote, and you can paraphrase. All right. Now, what is this? Okay, now, what normally evaluators, examiners, okay, wanted to see in your proposal or your thesis is the research gap. Why do you take the trouble? Okay, you took the trouble, 2-3 years, conduct this research, okay, because everyone is doing it. So you should highlight, you should tell your readers, your examiner that, hey, look, okay, I've spent many years to conduct this research because I want to address the researcher gaps. So highlight the researcher gaps, okay, show that, okay, show that this particular aspect of the literature was not addressed, okay, was not addressed previously. So my research will take up, okay, will take up or will fill in the gaps, all right? So blah, 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 blah. While the visibility and well-being of national athletes with disabilities have been empirically discerned, there is a need to study in the context of local students with disabilities. So what my student is trying to say here, the gap is, okay, the context was not addressed among the local student athletes with disabilities. So your evaluator, your readers, okay, are aware and ready that, oh, okay, I have understood that this is the gap that this research will, okay, will address or will cover. Okay, look at how my student write there. Okay, accordingly, the researcher feels the need to examine, again, use a strong word, need to examine the multifaceted functions of sport in relation to student athletes with disabilities, which has rarely been explored by local researchers. So you have to, okay, you must highlight, okay, which research gaps your research, okay, will address, so that we understand and we can appreciate, okay, your effort to conduct this research, or else you will appear the same, okay, or else you will appear the same. All right. Next, methodology. Okay, methodology. So in the methodology, I would like to emphasize 4 things. Okay, you must be clear of your study design, qualitative or quantitative. Now, hey, look, many students feels that they are doing mixed method, okay, but actually they are not. They are, okay, they know a little bit of quantitative, they know a little bit of qualitative, they combine, and well, that is my definition of mixed method. Mixed method is a one approach, just like, qualitative and, a quantitative. So at the department, we don't have the expert, okay, in a mixed method, okay, mixed method. Mostly they are either qualitative, or quantitative. There's no mix, okay. And I don't encourage also my student to do mixed method, okay, because what? They will get mixed up everything, mixed up in their thought, mixed up in their literature, everything mixed up, okay. So I told them, okay, it's either you go for qualitative or quantitative, okay. So you elucidate the approach method, okay, that you will use, okay. You have to be clear of the researcher tools that you will employ to obtain the relevant data for your research, okay. You have to also clear of the tools that you will use for analysis, and you have to demo that, okay. It's not simply just you write that you will conduct SPSS analysis, but you hire other people, okay, so that's not good. Researcher participants, okay, please explain the sample, justification of a sample, the sample size, okay. Sampling technique, there's a typo there, I'm sorry. Sampling technique and also the location. With regard to the location, normally I advise my student to focus only in one community, one village, okay, or 2 villages, 3 villages, but not the entire district or the entire nation. So you have to be reasonable, okay, you have to be reasonable in your location. Why? Because of the time given to you. Say, for example, in our case, MA full-time is only 2 years, okay? PhD full-time 3 years. So if you study the entire nation, or if you study the entire, I do not know what is called in Pakistan, you study the entire Punjab, for example, the entire Punjab. So that is what? That is overwhelming, okay? That is overwhelming. Perhaps you need another 3 years to complete your study. So you have to be reasonable in your selection of location. Next is ethical consideration. So all research at the university, my university, in fact, the one that I obtained my PhD in Australia. So we have human ethics committee at the university, okay, to filter, to check whether your questions, your survey, okay, appears, insensitive, okay, appear disrespectful. Okay, so we wanted that assurance that ethics are being, obtained, okay, prior to the fieldwork. You have to prepare your information sheet, consent form, and because this is recent, since last year, I told my student, you have to write in your proposal or in your thesis that, okay, this research is a COVID-19 safe. So what do I mean by that? Okay, you have to observe, okay, social distancing. That is why you don't conduct physical interview. You conduct only online interview. So you have to give that, assurance, okay, to the committee, okay, to the committee, or to your, to convince your examiner that your research is a COVID-19 safe. All right, and the last one. Okay, and the last one, again, I would like to emphasize what Professor Khalid has mentioned earlier. So your bibliography, your references, you must maintain consistency, stick to one referencing style. You have to check with your graduate school whether they go for APA, MLA, Harvard, Chicago. There's a lot of version. Make sure, the latest one. Number two, use all this software to organize your references in alphabetical order. And please also check, okay? Sometimes I saw that, student, the references appear, okay? The material appear in the references, but not in the text. Sometimes it is quoted in the text, but it doesn't appear in the references. So please double check, include the right page number or numbers, okay, website if you visited, their website, internet materials and whatnot. All right, so that's it. Okay, thank you everyone. Enjoy the process and good luck with your writing. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Noor, for your beautiful talk on proposal writing and synopsis writing. And really, it's amazing, your lecture. And you started from the proposal checklist and plan, because most of the time in our university, when the students start their work, sometimes they time. So you guide us initially, students, scholars, they must plan their, when they will complete their introduction portion, review literature, methodology, data collection, construction of questionnaire, and they must divide their time how they can develop proposal as well as their thesis. So beautifully you guide various steps researchers they have to use, especially in introduction, in the review literature, in methodology. You guide us study design, research participants, tools, ethical considerations, which are very much important. And already Professor Khalid and you explained how literature is important for the chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and construction of a questionnaire. So now the time is we have to take some questions from the participants, and I would like to invite Abdul Rauf. Abdul Rauf, you please open your mic and ask your question.
I'm hearing you properly.
Now your voice is clear. Please, you can ask your question.
Regarding writing the part of significance of study and statement of the problem. Where should we write these two parts in literature review? Specifically, significance of the study and statement of the problem. I hope
Yes, I listened to your question. Those two must appear in the introduction. Those two must appear in the introduction. Thank you. Not in the literature review. Statement of problem and significance of study must appear in the introduction, not the literature review.
Okay, thank you. We have another participant, Farkhanda Anjum. Farkhanda Anjum, if you have, you can ask to Dr. Noor. Yes, Farkhanda Anjum, please open your mic, and if you have any question, you can ask to Professor Dr. Noor.
Assalamu alaikum. Are you listening me?
Yes, loud and clear, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, thank you. I really appreciate Dr. Noor for her beautiful and a simple style. Her presentation was very simple to understand, and I think it was a great opportunity for a researcher. Thank you, Noor.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you for your kind words.
Okay, thank you very much. And our next participant, Musarat Rani, your mic is open, and if you have any question, you can ask a question to Professor Noor, and if you want to share your experience, so you can share. Your mic is open. Yes, Musarat. Okay, I think there is a connectivity issue with Musarat, and now at the end, for the concluding remarks, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Imran Sharif Chaudhry, Dean, Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, Bahauddin Zikriya University, Multan. Professor Dr. Imran Sharif Chaudhry.
Yeah, thank you, Kamran, for giving me this excellent opportunity to conclude this session. So actually, the two learned presenters gave their presentations, and really it's a great honor for us and my university and my students that they have given a detailed presentation on writing a research proposal. So I will just simply conclude one by one. So as far as the presentation of Dr. Khalid Mahmood is concerned, so he gave insights on a detailed description of the literature review. So how to conduct the literature review and what are the components and how to write the literature review. And he has also given some excellent idea regarding the citation of the references. So he also gave some tips regarding how to write the literature review. So I think so that was a detailed discussion on literature review. And now I will come to the presentation of Honorable Professor Noura Zora. So Mohammedia, so she is excellent in giving the presentation, and actually she gave the presentation of one semester here. So she concluded all the lectures, and she started from the introduction to the last one, and that was very brilliantly explained with a very explanatory form of presentation and slides. So she really gave us a detailed description of this presentation regarding the research proposal. So I think so if anybody listen about this presentation, so she or he would be able to write any research good proposal. And I think so that is very much important for the research students, that how to write the research proposal and how to write the thesis. Basically, she gave good ideas, how to pick the idea, how to write the statement of the problem, and before this, how to write the introduction, and then so how to give the significance of the study, so where to mention the objectives of the study. So she explained schematically the process of research. in particularly in the social sciences, because more or less in sociology, in anthropology, so in all the disciplines of social sciences. So her presentation was excellent in giving the introduction and all the components of research and the thesis writing. So she also gave an idea that how to protect your thesis writing and research from the plagiarism. And she also gave many ideas regarding all the steps of the research. Really, that was very learning and thought-provoking for all our new researchers and the old researchers, in keeping in view to have a good idea that what is the systematically procedure of writing the thesis, research proposal and the thesis. So at the end, so I would conclude that today was the wonderful presentations for our students, for our teachers, for our learners, for our beginners. So I think so this is a good idea that to promote the research, because the nations without research, they can't do anything. There should not be anything happen. They cannot address the contemporary socio-economic issues of the society. Basically, the research is, the true research is that research which contributes to the society. So basically, our major purpose is to serve our society. So if we can't help out our society and the people of the country to give some suggestions to solve their issues, then I think so the purpose would be solved. So this is the prime objective of the universities, to provide the excellent and good research on the contemporary issues. So the students now, it is on the part of the student that if they learn that how and why and what they are addressing in the contemporary issues. So I think now by getting the help from these presentations, they will be able to conduct the research on contemporary issues. And this is not only limited to the sociology department or anthropology and all our other students. So that may be helpful for the psychology as well, for the other disciplines of social sciences as well. So I would appreciate, I really appreciate the efforts of Professor Dr. Khalid Mahmood Saab and Professor Dr. Noora Zora. So she really spent a lot of time on this, making this presentation for our students, for our teachers. And now I think so I'm thankful to all the participants as well. They really raised the good questions regarding the research process. And this is honor for Bahauddin Zakaria University, because our Vice Chancellor is very much keen to initiate and to start and to disseminate the research activities in the university. And he is really a wonderful personality who is giving many ideas for our ORIC and for all our research activities. I'm thankful to our Vice Chancellor as well. Thank you very much, Kamran. So you initiated a good idea to conduct this webinar from your department. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Imran Sheikh Chaudhry. During this pandemic, many research-based activities for our students and for the researchers, not visit you, attending more than 25 universities, students, scholars, and faculty members from Pakistan and outside Pakistan. And really, it's an honor for us. You always supervise us. Either we are arranging webinars, either we are arranging international conferences. You always supervise us. You always support us. So thank you very much. And at the end, for the vote of thanks, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Mansoor Akbar Kundi, Vice Chancellor Bahauddin Zakaria.
Should I speak, Imran?
Yes, sir. Yes, please, sir.
Okay. As a token of thanks, ceremonially, I can say that two presentations made, excellent, good were they, least none You know, each word spoken with experience and wisdom has importance for listeners. So it's up to listeners how far they can imbibe, they can learn. Sometimes one word can change your life, and sometimes whole lecture doesn't have any effect on you. I believe that in the age of coward, scholars, institutions, and students should come more closer to online activities. Inshallah, COVID will be over and may be forgotten with the years. But this online teaching, online experience should and will continue. And I'm very happy that Kamran mentioned that we have collaboration, cooperation at the department level. You know, I always say when two scholars are two brothers, are two soldiers who are 1 and 2 at par, they are 11. And when they are not at par, they are less than half. They are less than half. So I am thankful not only from my mouth, but from my heart that you grace the occasion by your wisdom, whatever you know, each from each according to his capacity. Sometimes capacity looks ambiguous, little, but your wisdom, your words have more influence. One day somebody was telling me, Dr. Kundi, I was then associate professor, that the lecture you made, it was somewhere in Islamabad, was better, at least for me, than the one who was a PhD who came from Stanford. So many times things are supernatural and beyond circumstances. So it can go on. And I hope we will listen to you again. We listen to you again. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Professor Nora Zora, for this excellent presentation, and Professor Dr. Khalid Mahmood Saab and Dr. Kamran Saab and our worthy Vice Chancellor for participating and for extending time to for our students and for our teachers. I'm thankful from my core of heart. So for your precious time that you gave us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Imran Sharif, Professor Dr. Noor, and our worthy Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Mansoor Akbar Kundi. And especially, I'm very grateful to all the participants, listeners who have attended this very important research workshop. More than 500 registered participants we have. And inshallah, after this workshop, we will send soft certificates to all the participants. Inshallah, within this week, we will send signed soft certificate among all our registered participants. So thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. Grateful.